A one-year-old boy, Abhinav, has been missing since September 26 from Noida near Delhi and is still untraceable. He was left alone by his parents for barely 2 minutes around his home, where Delhi's Janvi was found after a vigorous social media campaign. For Abhinav's parents, it is an anxious wait for their missing son.
अभी जो ये न्यूज़ पे चल रहे हैं, प्रोग्राम चल रहे हैं, इसकी वजह से कई लोग जो है जुड़ रहे हैं, जो है फ़ोन कर रहे हैं और सहयोग देने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। उसी प्रकार से पुलिस भी हमारा आप सहयोग कर रही है जी। तो हम चाहेंगे कि सभी जो लोग मिलकर एक बार प्रयास करें तो हो सकता है बच्चे को ढूंढा जा सकता है जी।
A desperate appeal for help by distraught parents of 1-year-old. Abhinav went missing 2 days before Delhi's Janvi, but while that story had a happy ending, the prayers of Abhinav's parents are yet to be answered. What's worse, it took Noida police 9 days to even register an FIR.
तीसरे दिन जाके रिपोर्ट दर्ज हुई। दूसरे दिन हम लोग 4 बजे वहाँ पहुँचे, कम से कम 4 घंटे वहाँ 5 घंटे लगा, तब जाके उन्होंने केवल FIR लिखा, उसके बाद भी कंप्लेंट नंबर हमें नहीं दिया। तीसरे दिन जाके उन्होंने कहा कि जब तक पूरी फ़ोटोग्राफ्स नहीं आएंगी बनवा के लाओ। तो बड़ी वाली फ़ोटोग्राफ्स जो होती है, जो दूरदर्शन में दी जाती है, तो उसके लिए मैंने कहा सर ये सब तो काम होता रहे, कम से कम कंप्लेंट नंबर तो हमें दे दीजिए एक लिख के। कहें नहीं जब तक वो पूरे फ़ोटोग्राफ्स नहीं लाओगे तब तक नहीं मिलेगी।
But the cops refute all charges of apathy.
दिल्ली NCR तो पूरी टूट गई। कंप्लेंट तो मैंने भिजवा दी, तामिलवाड़ा यहाँ कहाँ तामिलवाड़ा दीजिए, इन्हीं की कंप्लेंट है। आज ये फार्म भरते हैं दूरदर्शन आकाशवाणी के लिए DCR भी।
The boy had gone missing from his house in Bishanpura village in Noida.
26/9/2014 को मेरा बाबू, हम लोग नहा के पूजा कर रहे थे। पूजा करने के बाद मेरा बाबू, हम दोनों हस्बैंड वाइफ 9 दिन का व्रत थे और मेरे हस्बैंड गए थे, निकले वो फल लेने के लिए मार्केट। मेरा बाबू उनको देख के बाहर आया, गेट तक आया और गेट पे आके लेट गया। फिर मैं सोची कि जब वो खुले बदन है तो मैं कपड़े उसको पहना देती हूँ। मैं कपड़े लेने अंदर गई और बाहर आई तो हम लोग खुशी अंदर नहीं जा पाए थे।
Hope could be fast fading for little Abhinav. Statistics are stacked against him, with 10 to 15% kids who go missing in Delhi NCR are never found, and most of them being for economic background like Abhinav's. Beyond the disappearances is a story of an organized crime syndicate. While some kids are forced into begging, others become bonded child labor at hotels and factories. Some are forced into prostitution, others even killed for organ trade. Abhinav's parents are anxious to bring him home, but as Noida police feel their pain. Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
My colleague Supratim Banerjee, who was tracking events very closely when Janvi was found, is also tracking the story. He's joining us live at this point of time. Supratim, can you give us details in terms of investigation?
See, so far the police investigation is concerned. SSP Noida, Mr. Pritinder Singh, has told me that they have formed 8 teams to locate this missing kid. They have they also asked their police personnel to look after all the suspected people regarding this case. And an important thing which I want to mention, that they have noticed, the family has noticed some madaris just outside their home when this kid went missing. So police is also looking for some madaris who are roaming around that area, but it is too late to locate them from that area only because it is more than 12 days the boy went missing. So police is again looking for madaris and the suspected persons in this case, and they have found 8 teams to find out.
You know, Supratim, just stay with us. We're going to come back right to you in just about a minute. We have Mr. Rishikant. He's a social activist from Shakti Bahini. He's on the phone line with us. He's worked very closely on the cases of missing children. Mr. Rishikant, you know, in a case like this, now this child has been missing for days now. Now, what are the chances of actually recovering a child with missing in these circumstances?
You know, recovering takes time because I don't know whether the child has gone through the trauma counseling. In fact, what I have read in the papers today, that the child would have been produced today in the Child Welfare Committee.
Mr. Rishikant, I'd like to just correct you here. We are talking about a 1-year-old who has been missing after Janvi. Okay. Now, there is this child who's been missing for days. It's a similar case like Janvi. Now, you worked very closely with missing children. But yes, this child, Janvi, was only missing for a few days. Now, this child has been missing since September 27th.
Yes. In fact, the case of this is the case of Noida, I think so.
Yes, yes.
And the child case has not yet been transferred to the anti-human trafficking unit of Noida. Immediately, the case should have been transferred to the AH2 of the concerned district, because the AH2 is the competent authority to tackle all these cases of organized rackets.
All right, appreciate you joining us. I'd like to now put this comment and take this over to Supratim, who's been tracking investigation, my colleague there. Supratim, has this case been transferred to the crime branch?
No, so far police didn't transfer this to crime branch or any anti-human trafficking unit in Noida. But again, police are looking for the child, and they have formed 8 teams as told by SSP Noida, Pritinder Singh. So again, the attitude of Noida police is not very appreciable, because the family members are also claiming that they were not very sensitively dealing this case. They were not ready to file an FIR when they knocked the doorstep of police station. So this indicates that how police is investigating this matter.
Yes, and there were very different modes of investigation followed by both the Delhi police and the Noida police, isn't it, Supratim? We're going to come right back to you and make you elucidate on the difference and how, because even the Delhi police commissioner had stepped in at that point of time, and here the SP just telling Supratim that 8 teams are conducting operations as we speak, and in contrast there were 20 Delhi police teams looking for that young child Janvi, who was found later. I'd like to cut across to Kailash Vidyarthi. He's a child activist. He's also on the phone line with us. Mr. Vidyarthi, you worked with many cases such as this. The question I ask you is, do you see any hope of recovering this child? Because the number of days are a lot more than in the case of young Janvi. This kid has been missing since the 27th of September.
Right. As was told before, that the case is not being handled properly. It is not only one case, actually. It is good that media tried to bring the case of Janvi or Abhinav or 1 or 2. But as you know, that 8 children go missing every hour in India. And this is the organized crime which is conducted by the people who are connived with the local authorities in many cases and found to be connived with the local police.
Yes.
And that is not possible without apathy of the authorities.
Yes.
And I was watching one of the television channels where the Noida police is trying to say that they are very prompt and they are doing this and that. But I don't think that they are genuinely working on such cases now or even before.
Appreciate you joining us, Mr. Kailash. Supratim, once again, coming back to you. Very different way of investigation by the Delhi police and the Noida police. It was commendable. The minute Janvi's case came to light, maybe it was a case in isolation, but there were 20 Delhi police teams looking for young Janvi. The crime branch was involved. 50,000 rupees cash reward was announced by the Delhi police. The police commissioner came in, and nothing like that being shown, that urgency, which is most needed in cases like that, been shown by the Noida police.
Yes, Preeti, you are absolutely right. In fact, Delhi police has dealt with a very professional manner as far as the case of Janvi was concerned. They have not only formed many teams, much more in much more numbers, but also they have entrusted this job to their top cops like of Special Cell and Crime Branch. But again, in the case of Abhinav, Noida police is not acting so swiftly. They have only formed 8 teams, and the detail shared by Noida police so far, they are not saying that they have asked any of their specialized team like UP Crime Branch or any specialized unit to track such case. Even I don't know whether they have put this information on ZipNet or not. ZipNet is a website where every child who went missing or any person who went missing, his or her information should be put on ZipNet, but this time Noida police has not cleared whether they have put this information on ZipNet or not, because by ZipNet one can easily know or access the detail of any person who gone missing from anywhere from the country, because it's a interconnected police net system called ZipNet. So Noida police is so far not doing this investigation in very professional manner.
All right, appreciate you joining us. Supratim has been tracking both cases very closely. He was tracking the Janvi case and pointing out the differences in terms of investigation, where the Delhi police handled the case and young Janvi was found in a few days, and this young boy who's been missing, 1-year-old child, missing since 27th September, and the Noida police still hasn't transferred transferred the case to the crime branch or shown the kind of urgency that the Delhi police did. We'll keep tracking details of that story, and hopefully this young boy would be